Hello, my lovely 8th graders. I wanted to help you a little bit today prepare for your Learn Check tomorrow. So the first question we're going to look at is, it says, which would be the most likely cause of large numbers of fish dying in a stream? So I underlined already what was the most important. Most likely, large numbers of fish dying. So before I even look at my answer choices, I'm going to think about what I know about water quality. And I know there are certain things like dissolved oxygen, temperature, turbidity, things like that would be, or pH would all be good reasons where if any of those are off, it could cause harm to organisms living in the water. So I have A, lack of nitrogen, B, high levels of mercury. Well, if it's high levels of something, it could be a problem, but that's not something that really pertains to us in this case. C, decreased carbon dioxide. Well, with animals might benefit from that, but plants would not, so it wouldn't be affecting both in a positive way. And lastly, low dissolved oxygen concentration. We know that if there is not a lot of oxygen, then these animals in the water would not be able to breathe. So my best answer choice here would be D, the low dissolved oxygen concentration. Okay, so for the next question, it says, which organism would make a good bioindicator? So first I underlined or highlighted organism. I know is a living thing, plant or animal. Good bioindicator. Bio means life. Indicator means to point to something. So bioindicators are those organisms that are pointing towards life, okay? And they are good ways to tell us if there's pollution in the water. So it says A, an organism that is in danger. That's not going to help me with the pollution in the water. B, an organism that is tolerant of slight physical or chemical changes. Okay. C, an organism that has reached its carrying capacity in the ecosystem. Well, that one doesn't really have anything to do with pollution. D, an organism that is not sensitive to slight physical or chemical changes. Well, if it's not sensitive, that means that we could have a lot of pollution coming through and they could tolerate it. So that would not be the case. So our best answer choice would be B, an organism that is tolerant to slight physical or chemical changes, meaning they could only accept a little bit before they would start dying off. And so we would know that there's a problem. The next question I wanted to show you all, in which way could humans best prevent a non-point source of water pollution in North Carolina? So what I highlighted was best prevent, non-point source, and water pollution. So I have to think of, okay, what is non-point source? I know if it's point source pollution, I can directly point to it. Whereas non-point source is coming from something, it's pollution, but I can't tell you exactly where it came from. So I have A, reduce the application of fertilizer in farm fields, okay? B, regulate waste discharge from an industrial factory. So I'm going to automatically cross that one off. I know that's a bad answer because if it's coming from a factory, it's more than likely coming out of a pipe or something of that sort. That would be point source. I can tell you exactly where that's coming from. Then we have monitor the average high temperatures in the area. Well, that is not going to directly affect that either, so I'm going to get rid of that one. So then the last one, maintain ships to prevent the likelihood of oil spills. Well, if an oil spill is coming directly from a ship, then that would be point source. I can tell you where it came from. So my best answer choice is going to be A, reduce the application of fertilizer in farm fields. Fertilizer in fields would be non-point source because a lot of it can run together, and then if it rains too hard, the runoff can push it into another body of water, so you don't know specifically which farm it came from. The last question, it says, what is the difference between point source and non-point source pollution? Okay, so different, point source, non-point source. Again, point source, you can point to it. Non-point source, it's hard to tell exactly where it came from. A, non-point source pollution comes from one identifiable source. So that's meaning you could tell where it came from. So we know right away that's a bad answer choice. Okay, so then let's look at B and C. B says point source pollution is more easily monitored and regulated. It should be regulated. C, point source pollution contains only chemicals that affect water systems. Well, point source and non-point source can affect water systems. So I'm going to get rid of this one. So B is my best answer because if you can point to it, if you know where it's coming from, you can monitor it and regulate it better. I hope this helped.